Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nona. I have another theatrical romantic video for you today. We are looking at the bold and dramatic style of Jada Pinkett Smith, who is only 5 feet tall, but thanks to her bold, highly contrast, and very strategic outfit choices, her aura just expands. She looks larger than life. So if you have any interest in her style or adopting any of these techniques, especially when accommodating a similar body type or perhaps similar features, I will be discussing that in today's video. So this slide is all about ratios, about framing. It is about how to maximize your real estate or really elongate and show off your limbs, your body, the different nuances in your frame in a very petite, friendly way. When you're petite, when you're yin dominant, you want to embrace intricacy in your look. You're not trying to create one or two big solid shapes because that tends to overwhelm you. You are made of these smaller components that need a more delicate and light touch to really be communicated clearly. So again, I like to remind all of my petite ladies that when you're trying to really elongate full body look, be mindful of your hair. Is it obscuring your neck and your shoulders? Is it weighing down your look? It depends on the style. It's a case-by-case basis, but just be very mindful of whether your hairstyle is enhancing your outfit or if it's getting in the way. All right, so her most elongating look of all these three outfits is this one right here, because as you can see, she's really clearly defining her chest area with this lovely, like almost figure eight infinity sign shape going on with the neckline, and then this very lifted, gorgeous detail of this rosette. Here we have another component that's quite clear. Her waist is quite shaped by this blouse. The top portion of this dress clings to her frame, and it just shows off the intricacy from her rib cage through the top of her hip bone. And then the shorts section is a very clear shape. She is exposing her legs. There's no competing volumes, and the rather low vamp shoe, except for the strap, is really creating a kind of elongated, almost bare-footed look. Now in the second outfit, she has two shapes going on instead of the three here. We have the top and the bottom. We do have this delicate belting here, but it's not really creating as much of a shape as this kind of treatment over here. We have a less curved, more broadly shaped neckline, so that's not really mirroring her intricacy and her petiteness, her delicate curves as much. But overall, it's a very body skimming look. So she still looks quite elongated, but there's not as much definition, so it's not as effective. So for the last look, this dress, I just wanted to bring to your attention this fun little kind of mind trick or illusion of this dress. Because of the tight nature of the skirt portion, you can see a nice curve forming here, and the eye just calculates and it computes that there is a continuation on that curve. So even if you're hiding your actual waist, if you use strategic volumes like she does here, you can kind of trick the eye to create a waist. The mind just fills in the rest of the idea. So here you can just imagine that her waist is very small underneath this volume. So that's just another fun little possibility You want to make sure that it's still quite harmonious with your proportions in your body. If this is too low, then it's not going to work. You have to make sure that you can create that illusory line. And another small note, if you are going to bare a lot of your limbs, exposing your limbs, shiny kind of materials are a little bit more flattering, a little bit more elongating. They kind of catch the light in a similar manner as your skin does, especially if you put on like body shimmer, body oil, anything to make the skin look shiny. Something similar to that, like a shinier, satiny material will, be very harmonious with your skin. All right, so this next slide is about momentum, the dominant shape of an outfit. Here we have 3 looks where the neck is highlighted by narrow, exaggerated collars or this narrow, delicate kind of ascot or neck scarf tie effect. So you have definition and visual interest, framing of the narrow neck, and then the shoulders are either a little bit exaggerated, like with these little shoulder details here, or the shoulders are nice and cleanly outlined with draping fabric. And then you get an overall dominant long shape from the coat. It's the big, long outside shape that dominates the outfit. It sets the tone and the shape of the outfit. If you were to imagine these outfits with shorter coats, it would not look as elongating because, again, the dominant shape is this long coat. If you were to try to create this outfit with a jacket length blazer, you would need to make certain adjustments and you probably wouldn't be able to look this sleek and long. Now underneath you can wear whatever you want as long as it harmonizes with the outside coat. You don't even have to show off what you're wearing inside either, but you want to make sure that whether you're wearing trousers that are like wide-legged or palazzo style, or if you're wearing a cropped cuff ankle-length trouser, that you're not overwhelming or dominating the coat. So you don't want your trousers to be so big and voluminous at the bottom that they kind of create a triangle that's going to drag you down. You don't want a bunch of bunched up fabric either if you're wearing a cuffed ankle trouser either. Again, it's going to create a lot of volume at the bottom and be distracting. And one more note, if you really want to make this look as confident and bold as you can, stick to 1 or 2 or 3 colors with solids and go for a power color, something that really brings out your lovely tones. All right, so this slide is about enhancing the shoulders. If you want to wear your hair down, that's totally fine. You just have to make sure that your hair, again, is not getting in the way of the overall shape of your outfit, especially if you're being so intentional about your outfit's shape. So try to augment the shoulders, make them a little bit more defined, either through a slightly sharp, angular kind of shoulder like this, or by adding a little bit of volume, like with this feathery kind of coat or jacket. You can also do it with like a fun shawl cardigan, boleros, anything that has a little bit of fun at the shoulders to create that stronger line, like at the top of a capital T. You will also notice she is not trying to create a very hourglassy kind of silhouette. She is allowing her blouse to just, skim over the sides of her body and, smoothly but easily tuck it into her shorts. It doesn't have to be the most smooth, perfect tuck. You just want to outline the body so that you're not creating big volumes that will get in the way of the line. So here she is really creating a strong shoulder line, and then the rest of her body is a relatively slim column. So again, you don't need to always try to create exaggerated curves, exaggerated hourglasses. It depends on what look you're going for, what garments you're working with, and your own body. In terms of neckline, here she has a nice angular plunging V-neck that helps mirror the kind of sharpened shoulder shape that she's creating. So it's just a nice technique to reinforce certain shapes or ideas in your outfit. The opposite would be if you're trying to do like a very rounded, puffy puff shoulder. It would look better with super round, kind of sweetheart necklines, or a gentle, wide, round neckline as opposed to a very sharp, vertically inclined V-neck. All right, so this side is about differences in belting, just different ways to create belted looks. So for this first one, she has a very sculpted, very structured coat. So the belting is there to create a like nipping in at the waist because she has the bigger shoulders in this coat, and then the bottom of the coat as well as the skirt has a little bit of volume to it. So she is creating that kind of hourglassy shape. But here, she's not trying to create that. She's going more for length and really bringing out the different nuances of her body. So the belt is there to give a little bit more definition so that her top and her pants don't just kind of blend in with each other. And, you know, they're very different silhouettes, but they can both look really good. Again, you just want to ask yourself, what kind of shape do I want to make? What hair looks best with the kind of shape that I'm making? What kind of fabrics help support that certain shape, that idea? And this side is about collars. Again, framing the face, framing the neck, starting off the visual line of your outfit. If you start it higher, there's going to be a kind of longer look to your entire outfit. That's why with very low necklines, or even strapless, semi-low necklines on petite women, it can be a bit too heavy. It can really drag them down. So think of lift and perk. There are so many different kind of collars or lapels to play with, different shapes. You can even wear different prints, mix and match. But here are just some tips. If you're going to wear a very voluminous collar, ideally, if you're petite, the rest of the ensemble is going to be a little bit shorter, so you can go for that kind of defined hourglass. Because if you wear something short with a big collar and you're not nipping it in somewhere, you're going to look like a square, or you're going to look like a triangle. Besides that, if you are going for, wider lapels or collars, make sure that they have a little bit of lift so that they're not starting off here, they're starting up here, so that you still have plenty of room to show off your shoulders. And you can even exaggerate your shoulders with a very narrow kind of collar and these fun kind of more puffy shoulder shapes. And this side is all about how to add more vibrancy, more brightness, more dimension to your look. Use different metallics, use different finishes, use colors that make you stand out, make you feel really, vibrant and fun. Of course, that depends on your actual coloring, what your season is, how much chroma or saturation or intensity that your look can handle, and it even depends on changes in hair color. This orange full-on look looks better with her black hair. with a blonde look, it probably wouldn't look as good, especially with the little golden tones in the top part here. So, layer it on, use different finishes, become familiar with your power colors, and use big, bold sweeps. So for this last slide, we're just going to talk about some instances where, it's a little bit out of balance, just not as successful in projecting that same confident but very integrated, cohesive kind of aura. So this first one here, there's just so much going on. Yes, we have that beautiful collar and, that figure hugging shape of the outfit and those low vamp heels, but because there's just so much contrast, so much going on. It's very busy here, and her hair is down in a style that looks a little bit more beachy, more easygoing. There's just too much contrast that it doesn't look unified. Here we have a rather rounded collar, rounded shoulders, a very low definition kind of bomber jacket with sleeves that are kind of shortening her arms because they're a bit bigger, and very large trousers. So she does not look very tall for her height here like she normally does. Here we just have a lot of big horizontal spans that can overwhelm a very petite, delicate figure. If you're going to do stripes, go for smaller, skinnier stripes. Just a lot of big volumes and not a lot of definition. Her structure is not coming through because everything is a little heavy. It's a little too broad. And lastly here, the neckline is very large. It's very wide and low, and then the actual straps are set quite wide, so that takes away from her neck and her actual shoulder shape. It kind of imposes the idea or the look of a bigger chest or a bigger shoulder onto her, but it's not supported because obviously she doesn't have the frame for that. Just very big details that are not proportionate. So instead of these cute little like leaf designs following the curve of her body, they're just kind of obscuring the curve of her body with the actual size. And with the big train here, you're getting an almost equal amount of volume at the bottom as on top. So it's kind of breaking up her line and then making her look shorter. So that was my little video full of these little details to look out for if you want to create some similar outfits, some similar styles, just some things to look out for. If you're interested in getting a style consult with me, I offer them. You can check them out on my website, thealignedlover.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, thealignedlover. And I'll see you in the next video.